has been a long journey. I'm around 68 now. But it was a life worth living. And I think every challenge proved to be achievement, to conquer, to move forward. And I'm happy I am where I am today. I've always been confident. I always had a lot of faith in myself. I got married when I was 20. I had 3 children by the time I was 25. I was not much educated. Grew up in a small town, Bangalore. I had moved to Bombay after marriage. But I did not know what marriage entailed. That there will be so much physical abuse, economic abuse, emotional abuse of every type. But not just that, there's no support. There's no support at all except to adjust and be in that home. I did not know what else to do, but I knew what was happening to me was not right. It had to be changed. But I did not know how to change it, except to end my life, and which I was not prepared to do. So I raised these children in this very violent atmosphere. Every day was an uncertainty. And the surprising thing was there were no elements that we popularly believe are the causes of domestic violence. My husband was not alcoholic. There was no mother-in-law. There was no dowry problem. There was nothing of the conventional reasons. And my husband was a company secretary in a very reputed firm, a very good man to the outside world. And whenever I complained about the violence, everybody thought there's something wrong with me. The question that was asked is, what is it that you do? And I tried to change in every possible way. But the violence just escalated. And initially, I was arrogant and I would not cry out. And my husband would say, she's possessed. How can she not cry out when so much violence happens? A hand is broken, nose is broken, bleeding. But I would just be determined and not show the pain. But then I realized that that's not taking me anywhere. Then I would cry. And as my children grew up, I became weaker. I already had asthma. And I would cry, and I would scream. I would froth at the mouth. And then my husband will say, she's insane. See the way she's screaming like a mad woman. See the way she's frothing at the mouth. So there was no winning of this game at all. And I continued in this manner for 13 long years. And all it took was one man to break that confidence. I began to doubt myself. I thought maybe there's something wrong with me. And I need to do something in order to prove myself that I am sane. Then finally, in the year 1980, I could step out because it was the year where the anti-rape movement had just started, a women's movement fledgling movement had started. And I heard about it, and I went and said, I want to join this group. And there were some investigations on rape issues, etc. And people would always ask me, what made you come here? Because they were all PhDs, they were doctors, they were journalists. Everybody was something, or political party members. Everybody would ask you, what's your background? And had only one thing to say, domestic violence. There's no other background that I could lay a claim to. And people would be shocked that you speak English, how can you be beaten? Because at that time, for the women's movement, there were only 2 issues, rape and dowry death. And both seemed very remote from the activist. And I was talking about a day-to-day violence that somebody goes through. It happens all around us, but we were not ready to accept it. We were not ready to open our eyes and say, there's a problem here. So I brought in the word domestic violence into the movement. And in order to do that, to convince people why I'm here, I wrote my own story. It's titled My Story, Our Story of Rebuilding Broken Lives. First, I wrote it in 1981, and in 1984, the small book was informally published. It went to many editions, but it still has remained as an informal book. But even as an informal book, it's gone across the world, been translated into at least 10 Indian languages, and it has changed the lives of many women because they see a ray of hope here. that into the ordinariness, into the murkiness, into the despair, you can emerge out. And according to me, never mind how much I have written subsequently, I think that remains a very strong sense of achievement, that the book is relevant even today. It's a very simple book, written in a very simple manner, and I've never changed it. It's got grammatical mistakes, it's got so many other things, it's not proper book. And each time in a revised edition, people want to know, how are your children now? How did you manage life? How did you move on? So each time I've added a page or two, but it still remains a very small booklet. But from here, I went on to study. I finished my graduation. And I did my law with a single purpose of helping women. Because we started with counseling, we formed a small group, and we were offering counseling. But I realized that counseling doesn't get you anywhere. You needed legal help. You needed somebody to hold your hand and guide you through the court processes. Because all of us are afraid of courts. Even the best of us, educated, have lots of exposure. I've seen people crumble when they have to come to court to give evidence. And here we are telling our rape victims, telling our victims of domestic violence that you can do it on your own, or you must engage a private lawyer. So I found this need very acutely in my life, and that is why our organization was started. It's called MAJLIS. And over the years, consistently, we have worked with victims of domestic violence, helping them to access their rights, first in the family courts in Mumbai, and subsequently in the Magistrates Court after the Domestic Violence Act came into force, and held their hands and guided them through the entire process. In 2011, we started another wing, another aspect of our work, is to provide support for victims of rape. And it was a case of a 4-year-old who was raped in a school. And we knew that this mother would have no chance if there was somebody not there to guide her and help her. So we stepped in, and over the years, we have helped about 500 rape victims in Mumbai. And when we started, rape was not a major issue. Nobody was working on rape. Everybody was working mainly on the issue of domestic violence. But 2012, it changed. We all know the Nirbhaya case, the gang rape, etc. Subsequently, the Shakti Mills case. But studying judgments as well as following these cases, we have brought about very disturbing statistics which do not come into the public domain. For instance, family abuse is as much as stranger abuse. 73% of the victims are under 18. Many victims are out-of-school children. There is poverty, there's other vulnerabilities, etc. And the incident of rape pushes them further down. They are raped because they are vulnerable, they are outcast. After the rape, they go down further. If they were in school, they have to stop school, they have to change their residence. The trauma of going to the process of litigation, the facing the cross-examination in a court, and then at the end of it, if there is no conviction, and there is no conviction in 90% of our cases, she is termed a liar. She's put into the system for no fault of hers. She has only gone and filed a complaint, and the entire thing unfolds. And the way the criminal justice system functions is benefit of doubt to the accused. That means if the investigation lapses, if there are lapses in medical examination, if the public prosecutor does not do his work well, the judge is insensitive and callous, it will end in acquittal. We're very happy to tell you, in the cases that we have intervened, the conviction is 80%. Why is it 80%? Because we help the victim, we help her, make her understand her papers. It's like giving an exam. What did she say in a FIR? If she's able to say that with confidence in the court, and we warn her that this is going to be the kind of questions that might be put to you, and you must answer them truthfully, bring out the facts, And because of it, we have been able to reverse it. At the end, I just want to mention one particular case, which I think is very close to me. Is of a 16-year-old girl who was raped by the father. Before her, her sister was also raped, and her mother is a victim of domestic violence. From the age of 12 till the age of 16, 17, she endured this. She was a very good student and studying in an engineering college, diploma course. One day, during her exam, the father attempted to rape her, and she couldn't take it anymore. She resisted, she left home. Father said, now don't come back. Then she went and filed a case in the police station. The case went forward, and it was time for her to come for a deposition. When she came into court, she said, I filed a false complaint. My father did not rape me. We happened to be there in the court. And then the public prosecutor showed her the FIR that she had filed. And then she broke down. And she started sobbing. So the judge asked us to help her. We spent time, we told her about our program, and we told her, you must tell the truth, otherwise you'll be back in the same situation. And then she went back, she gave evidence, conviction happened. But her mother was so violent with her, she snatched her phone, she snatched away her gold chain, and she said, now you do not come back. We talked to the college, we arranged for her fee waiver, we arranged for the mess waiver, and she finished the diploma course. She got 85% despite all this. Then in one gathering, after a nun was gang raped in Calcutta, she was the Mother Superior of the Convent of Jesus and Mary. So I was speaking there, and even a nun had said that don't do anything for me, do for the children over there who are getting raped. And I said, there are so many issues over here, and we are struggling, coping with so difficulty to provide support to victims. So one person came forward. There were tears when I was telling various stories, there were tears in the eyes of many of the ladies sitting there. And one lady came forward, and she says, when she joins engineering college, I will take the burden of the fees for the first year. So she got admission, that lady paid. We contacted YWCA, and YWCA reluctantly agreed to give her free accommodation for 1 year. Today, she still has to finish 2 more years. And my appeal to you is that this is the kind of support I am seeking from you. That there are victims here, they are poor, they are vulnerable, they have been raped by their own fathers and stepfathers, family members, or neighbors. They have no support. And there are so many issues with them. The law only looks at conviction or acquittal, but I think we need to bring victim support very strongly, and we need to say what is going to happen to this girl after she files a case. Where is she going to go? How is she going to improve her life? Is her education complete? And if she's not, she will be vulnerable more and more. Having been raped once, again and again, this thing will happen to her. If it is our concern, this is where we need to work, and this is where we need to provide support. So it's not only me who has built my life, but I think many of my clients, many of our rape victims are also able to rebuild their life and move forward. And I thank you very much.